points. But if he loses, then his opponent has a match point as well.
Yep, the good news for Rhett is that no matter what, he gets to pick every map from here on out. He's chosen Daybreak here for game number 5, 4.
You can do numbers, man, and that's okay.
I can match them. I can't add them or subtract them, multiply or divide. But by God, I can say number 1 goes here, number 2 goes there. I can do it. I really can.
We'll see. I'm pretty sure you're going to mess up at least 3 more times.
We should do a special segment called Bitter Does Math.
Oh, we make a YouTube series out of that. We're both going to be YouTube stars, man. And the best thing is, I'm going to look really smart for doing basic math.
Oh, man. So ThorZaIN is down in the bottom left of Daybreak. There he is. Red is up in the top right of Daybreak. There he is. And, man, it's Daybreak. This is a great map. I'm a little surprised that Rhett chose this map because I do feel like this is a good Terran map when you can get to 4-base. Maybe that's like a big word.
Yeah, I've spoken with quite some Terrans, and for instance, the Terrans who's living in our house, Ben, and already made it into the top
16.
Yeah, top 16. BSTQT, the Serbian Terran player, he kind of hates Daybreak. He says he has no idea why Zergs can ever complain about this map. He said it's almost impossible. The funny thing is, though, yeah, BC is a special case. If he plays mech and he loses, he's like, that's why I don't play mech, because Zerg can just do this. And then BC plays bio. You see, that's why I stopped playing bio. And I was like, BC, that's what you say the other way around as well. And he's like, yeah, but...
Well, Kev, no one knows it better than us. The grass is always greener on the other side. And while I understand BC's criticisms of Daybreak, because it is hard to drop on Daybreak. There's just not many places for Medivacs to come in, and BC is the kind of player that loves to be active with dropships and do that kind of thing. But when... if you can sit back and play like a ThorZaIN style, when you get up to those 4 bases, it's very, very difficult for Zerg to attack into Terran because every point that you have to attack through is pretty narrow. So siege tanks in good positions, stemmed bio, it can just do so much damage to an attacking army. And once you reach that point in the game, how does anybody take 6 o'clock or 12 o'clock, right? Then that kind of forces a low economy situation, and we just saw that in a low economy situation, Terran is going to come out on top 9 times out of 10.
It's a good point regarding 6 and 12. How often do you see those bases really being taken? Often I feel that it's kind of a mutual agreement when you have these really long games. It's like, okay, man, you can take the top, I'll take the bottom. we can attack anywhere else on the map, but let's just take these 2 bases. Otherwise, we're gonna have a really boring game. And it's like, okay, man, it's like gentleman's agreement. Yep,
that's about how it goes, man. They're very difficult bases to hold because they're so close to your opponent. Because they're kind of up and down ramps. It's just very, very difficult to hold those spots.
ThorZaIN just started attacking his own command center. I'm not sure if that's the way you want to win
Mutiny!
Game 4. He's lucky that is the Marine, man. Imagine you do that with a Thor. Like, boof. Well, game 4 of the NASL. That's what I played all season for. Once more for the people who missed earlier today. ThorZaIN went 4-4 in the regular season, and Red went 6-2.
Yep, and in the same group, no less. So it's a little bit ironic that they end up meeting here in the wildcards, but that's just the way it worked out. ThorZaIN did win his previous, I guess, tiebreaker matches to get him here.
He played super convincing. 2-0 select, 2-0 night hand. For anyone who was doubting if ThorZaIN was trying to give it all he has in the NASL, I think those tiebreaker matches spoke for itself.
Absolutely, they did. Rhett is doing what Rhett does best, macroing up, droning up, building these queens. This has just kind of become how he plays post-patch. The new queen spread and creep like a little lady boss.
Pretty quick starport once more, Ben, for ThorZaIN, so not the same place as we saw on Antigua. I think he's going to try to do something with benches this game. Maybe cloak benches in the main base, maybe trying to do something with helis on the turret. This time he did intercept the drone, and I think that's very useful because Red often doesn't make this overload, as we can see once more. He really counts on dropping that hatch, and I'm not sure if he's going to drop the macro hatch if he can't expand. Because this is going to take quite a while. Just now, Ben, exactly identical to game 1. Just now he's starting that overlord.
Yeah, wants to drop that hatchery, use that money. And this is so annoying. Just these Hellions killing that drone forces these queens to come down. It's so much time that gets wasted. Rhett Wilson, another drone down here. And after chasing the Hellions away, will he be able to expand? They come back and boom.
Wow, beautiful play by ThorZaIN. Small things like that really make the difference on the highest level. And right now, with this, he killed 2 drones and delayed this expand for over a minute. And I don't even think that he's done yet. Look at Red. He's so... Red is afraid, man.
Yeah, Red's being careful. He realizes that the Hellions are there. He's not going to fall for the same trick 3 times. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times. And the saying doesn't have a third part, but it should. It really should.
120 was the delay that ThorZaIN in the end forced, and we can see this time Baneling is going down for Red, but we do see Cloak being researched. The first time that ThorZaIN is really going for Cloak. Red is sacrificing an Overlord. He's going to spot the Banshee, but how sure can he be that this is Cloak? I'm sure that he's just going to prepare for it, but he's probably aware of the fact that game 2 was Caduceus Reactor and wasn't actually Cloak, or that was game 1. I'm not sure. I think it was game 2.
We will see. This Cloak Banshee opening, a big commitment from ThorZaIN. It's going to tie up a lot of gas in tech, and it's going to slow down the upgrades a little bit, but more importantly, it's going to really limit the size of his army. 19 army supply for ThorZaIN, and it is basically all Hellions. There's only a single Marine out on the map, and if Rhett were to do something like commit to some mid-game Baneling aggression, I do not know how ThorZaIN would hold it.
ThorZaIN picks up 1 queen before this really starts. What I think that ThorZaIN is going to do, Ben, is what I said earlier this game. I think he's going to try to do something with a lot of Hellions over here at the 3rd base of Red and fly in the Cloak Banshees in the main. And this is really going to be so important for ThorZaIN. He's going to have to deal a lot of damage. If Red is going to get, well, is barely going to take any damage from this whole process, then ThorZaIN is going to be in horrible shape to keep his tournament dreams alive.
Really tough spot to be in. Being down 0-2 against Red is not an enviable position.
That's 2-1 right now.
I was going to get to that.
Okay.
I was going to get there. ThorZaIN has begun the climb back as the Spire goes down for Rhett. So it looks like he just wants to play standard Mutiling Bane here.
We have 2 Banshees, Ben. Where's the second Banshee of ThorZaIN?
One at the top, the other is...
Over here in the bottom. Cloak activated straight away. He's going to get erased with the Spore Crawler. ThorZaIN has to be careful.
Rhett was really trying to bait that. He could have been shooting the whole time.
I know, he was waiting on purpose.
It was really smart, but ThorZaIN manages to catch it just in time and pulls that Banshee out. The second Banshee up in the main base is doing some okay damage. Already has 5 kills. Going to get a couple more and sneaks out of there. Well done.
I can live with 7. Red already remaking those drones, but the whole process, the most important thing, of course, is that Red is not able to make drones right now. He's or not able to make units right now. He's forced to make more drones, replace the drones that he lost. But I'm surprised that ThorZaIN didn't try to do anything with these Hellions, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, there were so many queens down there. Maybe he felt like that was just going to make the Hellions, make the prospect of them doing damage an impossibility. Rhett right now continuing to add drones, just replacing those that he lost. That Banshee was 7 kills. You know, our good friend Dennis Take Galen says that if a Banshee gets 8 kills, it's paid for itself. Yeah, but that's in the old meta game. I feel with the way that Zerx plays out these games, losing 8 drones in this phase of TVZ is not the same as losing 8 drones 4 months ago. Yeah, that's a pretty fair point to make there, Kev. ThorZaIN does have that 3rd base down. Even though they did not get more expensive. But you know what I mean. Zerg likes to make a lot more of them. Muta's going to come out. And +1 attack upgrade starting up for Red a little bit late. He hasn't gotten the carapace upgrade, which is a little bit surprising. That's usually a little more important, frankly, because it means your Lings stay alive against siege tanks. Oh, love this Banshee from ThorZaIN right now on the right bottom side of the map, delaying that 4th base of Red a little bit. But 9 Mutas are on the way. Baneling speed is on the way as well. So Red is really trying to get everything in place for that Baneling, for that Mutaling Baneling style. And I love to see Red play around with that. Ooh, activate Cloak, but there's no Overseer over here. ThorZaIN not paying attention this time. Ends up losing this Banshee. So Red will be able to take this base as well. Little Queen hit squad getting the job done there, Kev. Spread and creep along the bottom half of the map. Mutas show up just in time to spot these Hellions. And that means that there's no way that that 4th base will be denied or delayed. And there are so many more units just out on the map for Rhett. These Hellions are really going to have to kick it into high gear if they want to stay alive. Man, I think ThorZaIN's just going to sacrifice these guys. Kick the tires and light the fires, man? I don't think there's going to be many fires being lit in this case, Kev, as Rhett's got way too many units. And ThorZaIN, he's going to get 1 volley off. And that's kind of it. But like this kind of makes me feel that he might as well. Ooh, ThorZaIN's going to try to pick off a couple of Banelings while he's focusing Zerglings right now. But he will be able to force at least a couple of detonations on these Banelings. Oh, what was the detection? The Banshee up to 10 kills, and she's going to get a couple more. But I feel like ultimately she's doomed to a short life. Why are the Mutas not responding? Again, Rhett showing us that he just doesn't like dealing with Banshees. Nobody really likes dealing with Banshees, man. But it's some of those things you have to do. It's kind of like going to the dentist. Nobody likes it, but... 23 Mutas out on the map for Rhett. That is a lot of Mutalisks. That's the point in the game where they start to become a real nuisance. +1 is done for them as well, so they will kill turrets so very fast, meaning ThorZaIN's going to have to commit units to defending these mutas, more so than just having turrets in position.
And one tank a little bit out of position. Red does end up picking it up, but he loses 3 Mutalisks so far. 4 Mutalisks fell down as well. 4 mutas, man. That's quite a big deal.
For a tank and a handful of Marines, probably not worth it, but you know, it is going to make ThorZaIN nervous, and it's probably going to bottle him up. Oh, Ret knows the drop is there, but flies right into the Marines, and wow, losing a lot of mutas there. That was a very painful loss. Ret goes from 23 mutas to 16 just immediately, so well played there by ThorZaIN. Ret going to try to turn around and pick it up, but ThorZaIN is all over it. Has sent those Marines back home where they can enjoy an early retirement. Maybe one of them can be upgraded to a Thor.
Well, in desperate times, man, we need every man on hand, man on deck, and I believe that these Marines will come back in action as well. The days of early retirements are over, man. It's tough economic times, even though ThorZaIN is doing pretty well on the economic front right now. 1,900 minerals a minute. Red's still at 2,400 minerals a minute, but we all know if you want to play that Mutaling Baneling style, you have to outmine your Terran opponent. If you don't, it's going to be very tough to win the game in the long run.
That's very true. That's because when you play this sort of a style, you're always trading units no matter what. Banelings do not live to fight another day. It just doesn't work like that. ThorZaIN is maxed out, and he's about at the point where he takes that 4th base, Kev, and this is kind of what we were talking about. Once you get to 4 bases, it becomes really difficult for Zerg to really attack. So I think ThorZaIN has played this map exceptionally well. And Ret, you know, he's got a lot of Zerglings, he's got a lot of Banelings. He's not adding to his mutas anymore. He's going to go up to Hive.
Squad over here for ThorZaIN, man, but Ret is rolling in.
He is going to roll in, and he's going to get some good connections there. ThorZaIN has split his army brilliantly, though, and at the end of the day, the vast majority of Banelings fall. And what do you think that Thor feels like right now? He was completely surrounded.
Yeah, that Thor is like, I'm invincible.
No problem, Thor is here. Thor just got Russian.
More exchanges going down. So far, so good for ThorZaIN. Picked off a ton of Zerglings, ton of Banelings. Red trying to remax, though. He's getting close to it. And he tried to do something with mutas. He's going to try to intercept, but he lost so many mutas in the process. Right now, this is so hard. Imagine if he still had that ball of 25 mutalisks.
Yeah, it was really, really unfortunate that he lost that many units. And a lot of Banelings are going to detonate on siege tanks. That's not what you want at all. Ret will clean up this hit squad. But, but it was not the efficiency that he would have wanted. He's going to continue to attack. ThorZaIN has Marines in good position. Oh, actually, this is a pretty good trade for it. Now he's going to surround and kill a lot of Marines.
Where are the other units? I mean, ThorZaIN is at 135 supply band, but all I see is 8 Marines.
I'm having the same question. There's a lot of it in production. He's building 9 Marines in a tank at a time. Ooh, nice job raising the depot at the last second. But more tanks are going to fall, and Baneling's going to roll down into the 3rd base. ThorZaIN's all over it, though, trying to split these SCVs.
Lost quite a bit. Zergling streaming in as well. ThorZaIN's only down 30 supply band, and Red still has quite some units in this base as well. It's starting to look really good for the Dutch Zerg.
Oh, heavy damage being taken by ThorZaIN. There's just nothing in his 3rd to deal with these Zerglings. I'm trying to understand how this went so badly. It looks like everything was going his way, but more Lings streaming into the natural units are going to die. Well, okay, the depot does go up just in the nick of time, but still, SCV is going to fall into natural. ThorZaIN has lost more than 20 SCVs at this point. The count is rapidly climbing. Finally, the 3rd base gets cleaned up, but the natural has been completely ransacked. ThorZaIN in a lot of trouble. Ret behind this has gotten his Hive. He's getting his Greater Spire. Infestors are coming out. He's just doing everything right here in the late game.
ThorZaIN only mining 500 minerals a minute right now, Ben, and that's absolutely nothing. And how is ThorZaIN going to secure an additional base?
It's never going to happen.
Yes, he has that 4th command center, but where is he going to land it? And how is he going to protect it? That's the bigger question.
I mean, the more important than all the units that ThorZaIN lost is all the time that Ret gained. ThorZaIN can't do anything to him, period, for the next 5 minutes, and by the time ThorZaIN's able to force a fight, Ret's going to be able to have 15 Broodlords out, Kev, and there's just no way that ThorZaIN can muster the economy he needs to deal with an army like that.
It's Terran, Ben, and if any race can make comebacks besides Zerg, it's Terran. That was a subtle line.
I caught that, man. Zergling Infestor Corruptor is the army composition of Ret right now, but we can see very clearly that he will have Broodlords out very soon. ThorZaIN is going to try to make something happen with just Marines. Well, he does have Medivacs, and he's preemptively splitting these Marines very nicely.
This is going to be very hard. Ret setting up another big flank. There are a lot of Infestors as well. Fungals going down.
Not the best Fungals, though. Zerglings are well upgraded. Medivacs falling to the Corruptors.
Wow, this went really good for ThorZaIN so far. Now a couple of mutas flying in. There's not a lot of anti-air left, though. Those Marines should start focusing these mutalisks because he's losing tanks.
But the mutas will all fall, and ThorZaIN managing to take a really good fight here. He's going to kill this hatchery. Ret needs to be careful to keep these drones alive if he wants to stick around.
It's 79 against 59 right now. Yes, Broodlords are on the way, but ThorZaIN just did a massive job in coming back into this game.
Yeah, but Ret is going to surround this army. He's going to crush a lot of Marines and siege tanks, and ThorZaIN's on move command. Every tank's going to fall. Every Marine is going to fall, and just like that, Ret retakes a big supply lead. It's 63 army supply to 63 army supply, so virtually even in that regard. There's no corruptors, though, and ThorZaIN does have Vikings out.
That is correct. There's not a single corruptor on the map. There's only one infestor as well and 3 queens. So Red's going to end up losing a couple of overlords over here. Man, ThorZaIN did so extremely well. And of course, it's always hard whether to figure out should you stay or should you go. But
should I stay or should I go now? ThorZaIN's going to try to counter, Kev.
It was a moment to go, but not a move. And if he would have grouped up a little bit, maybe leave one tank siege.
Ret's attacking into the 3rd base of ThorZaIN. ThorZaIN attacking into the 4th base of Ret. Both players taking massive losses. Broodlord Infestor shows up to defend Ret's expansion. Meanwhile, ThorZaIN has very little to defend his base. These Marines are...
Broodlords, man. The Broodlords are taking so much damage. 2 Broodlords fell down already. Marines not focusing the Broodlords right now. One more Broodlord remains,
and Ret will clean this up, but he's taking some big losses. Meanwhile, back on ThorZaIN's side of the map, those Lings have been dealt with, but again, ThorZaIN with more. Actually, no, ThorZaIN's economy is pretty good, Kev. He's got this new base. It's a planetary. Ret can't pressure this.
Ret missed the fungal. He's going to hit the 2nd fungal, though, so those 2 tanks will fall eventually. But wow, what a miraculous comeback so far from ThorZaIN. Army supply, ThorZaIN is still 22 up, Ben. And Broodlords, how many Broodlords does Ret have left?
He has only one. One with 2 more morphing. And
you said impossible, Ben.
It looked so impossible, and ThorZaIN's just done. He hit when the Broodlords were morphing. It was just the only time that he really could have made it happen. And not only did he hit at a good time, his units were positioned perfectly, and Fungal wasn't really able to help. And Ret lost a base and lost a lot of drones. And now ThorZaIN has taken some serious momentum. He's got more Broodlords finishing up. The Viking count not very high. There's only a single Viking out right now. But just look at these Marines. They're just being positioned so well every single engagement.
Yep. Once more, this small Marine squad doing quite a bit of damage. Ret has to be careful. As you said, he lost quite a few drones already throughout this entire game. 49 even. He's going to lose this queen as well. Only has 1 queen left, man, from the original 6. And he has to be careful with that as well, because eventually, even if he's going to bank some minerals again...
Oh, big fungal there by Ret. That's going to buy him some critical time, but that hatch still looks like it's going to fall. Yes, it does. Corruptors and Broodlords are here, and that makes it very tough for ThorZaIN to fight. But man, this is such a scrappy game. ThorZaIN just barely hanging on. But with this planetary in the middle of the map, I think he's going to be fine. It means that he's going to have a mineable base until it's gone, basically. Ret is just not in a position where he can counter this.
Really nice fungal there by Ret. It's starting to get in a situation where every unit counts, so picking up those 2 medevacts can definitely make a difference. But another big drop is already starting to take place in the top side of the map. Ret doesn't really have much in position. He has those 2 spine crawlers. ThorZaIN knows
2 hero Zerglings. Can they kill everything? Of course, the answer is no. Spines will manage to pick off a Marine or 2.
The Red is going to take so much damage from this drop.
And this is the problem with the Broodlord army. It just has 0 mobility, and I think Red is going to lose his entire base to this.
ThorZaIN is so active all around the map, sending Marines in the middle of the map as well. Might be able to pick off quite some drones once more. You position yourself under this Broodlord to pick off a Broodlord.
He's not targeting properly. That's 1 Broodlord is going to survive barely, but look at this. Greater Spire taking heavy damage, and it is going to fall. Ret completely incapable of responding to it, and that means no more broods. He's also going to take some damage on his Hive. He's going to have to get up there soon. Hive's got half of his life left. Ret's got a lot of units just in his natural. Oh, Ret, you've got to go. Hive is going to fall, and that means absolutely no more Broodlords for a long time. But medevacs fall.
Yeah, Corruptor will pick off, and this hatch in the right bottom of the side did stay alive. Tournament is really fighting for, ThorZaIN is really fighting for everything that he has. Red still in his 2-1 lead. We are playing best of 5. The winner will advance to the NASL playoffs. And Ben, you can say a lot, but these 2 guys are really going at it like champs.
Oh man, such a back and forth game. It's like LeBron versus Jordan.
That was possible, man.
If that was possible, Jordan would win every time.
Oh, look at you.
Dude.
You still can't admit it, can you?
Hey, listen, LeBron won his championship. He earned it. I'm proud of him. I can't say anything about him. He's going to win several more in his career. He'll never be Jordan.
We'll see about that. Corruptor is starting to work on this medevac, and this medevac will fall as well. ThorZaIN is still up 15 supply, and he's going to get additional star points right now, starting to feel comfortable again with the economy that he has. Red still active with Zerglings as well, as active as ThorZaIN is. Red is just as active. Units all around the map. And Ben, once upon a time, in a far away past, this was the main base of Red.
And one thing that he's going to need to do is get an Overlord over to his spawning pool.
This kind of reminds me of like a Roman city, you know, where there's only like one ancient building left.
It's just a column. Yeah. Let's go look at the ruins.
Yeah,
oh, wow, it's one pillar.
They say that this water is 5 million years old.
You know what? If you can oogle over an old building, why can't you oogle over like a rock? Because that rock has been here since the beginning, Kev.
Yeah, no?
That's the thing about rocks.
I like rocks. I've always appreciated rocks.
So Red, you know what? He really, I don't think he realizes that this spawning pool is in danger of going extinct. Quite frankly, he's got no more spawning pool anywhere else.
Save the spawning pool.
But he does have a very impressive Broodlord Corruptor army. 6 Broodlords, 11 Corruptors. The problem for Red is that he can't replace any of it.
It's always hard to attack there in a situation like this. Beautiful, beautiful spread by ThorZaIN. So Fungus are going to be very hard for Red to land perfect Fungus. The Broodlord's already taking damage.
And there's no queens here for transfusions. Great Fungals by Red. He's going to get a lot of Marine kills. But this is kind of what we talked about in the very beginning of this game, Kevin. When you get into this stage.
The Corruptors are really clumped up, man.
Oh, man, and they're going to take so much hits from the Thors. And actually, ThorZaIN is going to easily deflect this attack. And split map on Daybreak. ThorZaIN's going to hold it down. A good fungal from Red. And a couple of lings showing up will mean that all these Marines are dealt with. But Red is now 50 supply down to ThorZaIN, who is continuing to drop.
Yeah, ThorZaIN once more tried to pick off that spy. It's not going to work this time. The spawning pool did go extinct, Ben, but with modern technology, they can rebuild it.
We can make it stronger.
This is just like we live in the old days.
Man, 99 supply to 140, but ThorZaIN, he's just tightening his grip on this game. He's now got 2 planetaries at mining bases.
6 series.
He's got tons of energy on his orbitals. Red trying to rebuild his hive, but I don't think that it's going to matter. Viking. Billy the Viking.
Billy is like, man,
just never works out.
No, finally I was a Viking in my life and I still have to land.
I have dreams of being a fighter pilot. Let's land and die.
It's not easy being Billy, man.
Never is, Kev.
Red is going to try to make another run by with a couple of links. Might be able to intercept at least these Marines, but he saw that dropship. ThorZaIN is actually going to
I'm going to drop the ruins of your main.
I'm going to drop...
Wait a second. There's actually nothing here.
Hold on a moment. Red also knows that this drop is there, so ThorZaIN gonna have to pay attention, activate Stim straight away, so ThorZaIN is paying attention. But during all this, Ben, ThorZaIN is improving his position on the bottom side of this map.
Yeah, and what does Red really have to answer this army? Only Infestors.
Such a sick game. He's gonna try to land some Fungus. Do we have Neuro? No, we don't have Neuro. Beautiful
it's a huge
fungal.
Medevac will keep a couple of those Marines alive, but Red will fungal actually everything to death there. Now it's just Thors, but there's not enough Zerglings. Red, you don't want to commit to this fight.
He's going to try to go with a lot of infested Terrans, but more Marines coming in as well. This is a fight that Red can't possibly win.
He's going to kill a lot of Marines, but the Thors, they just absorb so much damage, and they will mean that ThorZaIN keeps this push alive. There's a couple of Spine Crawlers and more Infestors waiting at this bottom right expansion of Red. Yeah. A single Broodlord, maybe with infinite transfuse, could save the day.
These guys are playing so exceptionally well right now. ThorZaIN just keeps being active with Marines, trying to arrest Red, trying to make a last stand over here in the right bottom side of the map. All these infested Terrans doing a very good job, since that one Broodlord is soaking up a lot of fire. Red is going to bring in some links. Is he really going to be able to clear this up?
It seems impossible, but at the same time, he did lose every drone at that middle expansion. And wow, ThorZaIN really trying to win this push here at 80 supply against 120. More Lings going to come streaming in. Red is going to kill one more of these Thors. And with more Zergling reinforcements, are you kidding me right now? Red
is
just
so broke.
Barely is going to hold. No, he's not actually going to hold. ThorZaIN's got too much. And it is now doubling Red's supply, 120 to 63. Red just refused to lose, but ThorZaIN taking out expansions everywhere has dropped again in the back of Red's third base.
Yep, picked up another spawning pool. Red will maybe be finally... No, actually still not. ThorZaIN still making a final stand over here as well. Red only at 54 supply right now, and the biggest problem is when he's so broke. Well, he has basically one fully saturated mining base, split over 3 bases.
Oh man, ThorZaIN, he definitely wants to be at our final, Kev. He's playing his heart out right now, and he's going to have to I mean, he's just moments away from some cinching up Daybreak, and that'll tie up the series at 2-2. And what does that do to your mindset if you're Ret? ThorZaIN's going to lose a couple of Marines at this middle expansion once more, but look at this push at the bottom of the map. These medevacs are really offsetting the strength of these infestors. Not to mention Ret's just lost so many infestors. He's down to just 4. At one point he had, I don't know, 12, 15.
Exceptionally cool StarCraft by both guys. I'm just blown away, man. The playoffs have really started for me. They might call this the wild card. I call it the playoffs.
Oh, more infestors going to die. Corruptor's going to come in and try to clean up some of these medevacs, but we can see that Ret is on his dying breath. 39 supply against 139 supply. GG comes out of Ret. ThorZaIN evens up the series 2-2. Holy smokes.
Battle of the Titans, man.
At one point, ThorZaIN was out of that game, and then he had a window. It wasn't even a window. Have you seen Madagascar 3?
No.
All right, you need to go see it because there's a tiger in Madagascar that jumps through hoops, and you know it sounds kind of you know, if anybody's gone to the circus has seen a tiger jump through a hoop, right? I mean, you've maybe seen it on TV. Yeah. They jump through the hoop. Well, this tiger's special because he jumps through really small hoops, and so he'll like jump like through a regular size hoop and then a smaller hoop, and at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, he jumps through a hoop that is like the size of a ring. Yes. A full-size tiger. He squeezes through the hoop. That's what ThorZaIN just did. That was the size of the window that ThorZaIN had to hit. It was a ring-sized hoop, and he just leapt through it, and he was carrying with him ThorZaIN siege tanks.
Not sure how I feel about this analogy, but I do like it, man, because it was a great game. I mean,
right now, Frodan is laughing because I saw Madagascar 3 with Frodan, and he gets the reference.
Okay. Well.
And somewhere out there, someone else has seen Madagascar 3, and they're like, you know what, Bitter?
And for those thousands of other people, you just ruined the movie, including myself. Hey, Kev, you should really check out this movie, because in the end, this has what happens.
Spoiler alert, the tiger makes it.
Sounds pretty silly, but absolutely amazing StarCraft from both of these guys. We are getting ready for Game 5. We're going to head over to a small commercial break, and then we'll be right back with Game 5 of our first of these 4 best of 5s that we got going on today. It's going to be a long but exciting night.